24/7. It's not 9 to 5 anymore. So you make that decision in your head. If that's your vision, you have to work for it. If you wanna go ahead with a career, you have to also work for that. So it's just how passionate you are about your vision. So definitely push through in order to become successful and to obtain that. You just have to work.
That goal, man.
I don't think I can put it in any other words. You have to be very extremely passionate.
Whatever it is, work.
So can you tell us some of the benefits, maybe? I mean, the work is important,
Yes,
and if you love what you do, it's not like you're working.
Exactly.
A lot of the time. Sometimes it still is, but for me. But tell me some of the benefits. What are some of the benefits of being your own boss?
Somewhat, yes. I still make my own schedule,
Mhm.
but anything could happen within the field, especially in the restaurant industry. Anything, from an employee calling out, anything running out in the restaurant. If you don't have enough backup to do things, you have to do it yourself. So when it comes to the perks of what is it to be your own boss, you make your own money. You can plan around your company that you have built, and also working within the food and beverage, you get to meet so many different people. Who doesn't like food? Who doesn't like wine? Who doesn't like coffee? You get to meet so many amazing individuals. So I think that's one of the most amazing perks for me, just because I have networked for over 10 years, and I think one of the biggest circles I have right here in the corner. I've known these people, I think in all together 15 years plus, and I think networking when you're working for something that you're really passionate about, building relationship, it's the main enjoyment for me.
For me, just like Eloise, I would say it's the amazing people I've met. I've been in business now for 2 years. And of course, you're gonna have your ups and downs, but I've learned so much from so many people. I've met so many good-hearted people that genuinely want to help me and want to see me succeed. Being a role model also, and I think in our community, for young girls to just get out there and do certain things, it's a little hard. And our area is kind of dominated by men, so when girls see us doing what we do, it definitely motivates them. So I think that's the satisfaction for me. And like I said before, I love what I do. I found a passion for it, so I always want to learn. I always want to do more. And I still have more things, more goals within the wine industry. So for me, that's the best feeling.
Well, I would feel like an imposter if I said I was entrepreneurial. I'm not. A freelance writer, I have been, and currently I'm doing some freelance writing. But it was never something I had the guts to do, to really work independently. I tried it years ago. Between jobs, I said, if I could write independently, how wonderful. And in fact, ideally, I wanted to be a travel writer, an arts and culture writer. And I actually applied to Columbia University's arts and culture reporting, and they didn't accept me, but that was a dream. And that dream came to an end like 6 months to a year, when it was like, I'm gonna starve. So I started looking for a full-time job, to have a weekly paycheck and to have health coverage, and I was blessed to be able to find that several times over. So no, I don't fit their description of a career. But the beauty of freelance, of course, is I would call my own hours. I could walk out of my working cube at home at any time I want. I can work in pajamas,
Pajamas.
Yes.
I wish I could have pulled it off. I mean, who wants it, especially the subways? You know, especially having to deal with our transportation system every day and back and forth, and not to mention annoying bosses and stuff. So, yeah, I tip my hat to you. I was telling these wonderful women that I also had a dream of opening my own shop in our neighborhood in Sunnyside, Queens, and about 10 years ago. So I looked around, and all the rents at the time were in the $7,000 to $8,000 range for a little more than a closet. And I could have gotten maybe a loan, you know, but still it's 24/7 amounts of work. I would have had to sell, you know, at least $8,000 worth of trinkets in my little gift shop. So I took my hat to you.
So, our next question is, statistics show that women, especially women of color, continue to earn less than their male counterparts, are more likely to adjust their careers for their family life, and continue to be underrepresented in certain fields like science, engineering, entry-level positions in corporations. In your opinion, why is our nation still experiencing this gap in 2019, and how can women work towards equality and diversity in the workplace? Fix it. Fix the problem. Fix it.
I don't have the solution. It's hard. It's hard because me as a woman, and for so much work that I have put in, it's in being in the industry where you see other colleagues, you're not trying to be jealous or even kind of be upset at anybody else, but sometimes there comes a point that you're like, wait a minute, what's going on? Why is this person male? And I'm doing all this work. So it does exist a lot. And as far as a solution, I see more highlight as far as women empowerment now. So that is definitely being talked about a lot. And I think being from the community that we are, now that it's being more being put out more there, and then of course as far as women coming together for events, community events as well. And always spreading the word, just because our voices have to be heard. Our work has to be valued and talked about. We do put in a lot of work, and also so many different companies. I've been out of the corporate world for a couple of months now, but I felt that a couple of months ago, just because being an entrepreneur, when, like she said, when you're not making, you have to find ways to make it for yourself. So yes, owning your own business is amazing, but sometimes you have to do things to make ends meet. So being in the corporate world, I know it happens a lot. In a male-dominant industry such as ours in the Uptown area, specifically because it's more male-dominant, definitely it's hard for me to put into words, just because I'm trying not to say something that might kind of bother someone, but it is upsetting. It is extremely upsetting.
It's unfortunate sometimes, but you know, as women, I think sometimes we have to work a little bit harder and just be a little louder. But it's not impossible, and you know, thankfully now, 2019, there are more, you know, women stepping up and movements, and you know, there's more unity, I think, so that's helping it a little bit. But the fact of the matter is that we still have to like push and just work a little harder to be at the same level as
Network. Women, stop isolating from each other.
Yes.
Get close, talk, share. do go out there and protest. And the brave women, the Me Too women, my God, they brought to the forefront a lot. I mean, all right, a lot of it was about the sexual harassment, but it includes all the other harassments that come with it, you know. The gender inequality and so many, even the bathrooms in the concert places. You go to the Mets game, I know you don't, but I do. You gotta wait for an hour in line, and meanwhile you date, you know, whatever, the guys, they go right in and out. We need more time. You know why. You know, if we don't share what we're going through, we're living isolated and not coming together to address the issues, you know?
Really? Really? Oh, yeah, I can hear.
I was saying the few minutes before when we got together, before we came down here, that just now the women, the most famous female athletes in the world have sued the soccer federation. Okay? 3 months before the World Cup, they are taking risks for themselves. They are showing up for themselves. They're advocating for themselves. You've got to advocate for yourself. You got to ask questions. You can't, there is no stupid question, you know. And you have to be willing to ask for help. So the Soccer Federation, there's another suit, active suit right now against Google. There's an active suit against the Veterans Administration because all these female veterans are returning from war zones and they get free lifetime health care. But guess what? They're showing up at the VA hospitals and being snickered at by the guys, like, oh, baby, what, you know, what's ailing you? And they're feeling like they're in a meat market at the VA hospital. But they're coming out, The Me Too movement might have helped inspire these things, that now we're talking to each other. We're not afraid. I think I've said it.
Well, I think that all of you kind of bring up the same thing, that you're looking for support, right? And one way to say support is network. Can you maybe go into more details about the types of networks that you've been able to form, how you maybe extend the network instead of just kind of taking, that how you're also giving back?
Okay. I'd like to say
She'll start.
One of the key people in my network is sitting right here, Evelyn Hernandez. She, more than 20, well, I came in maybe a little under 25 years ago, but she invited me, Evelyn invited me to join a network of women. At the time we were 20, 25, whatever, women in journalism in New York City. Women who are journalists in New York City. There were also lawyers in that group. Media publicists were in that group. And I was like kind of touched and honored to be included because I was coming up fairly new as a Wall Street Journal copy editor. I was not a senior editor, I was a copy editor. So I showed up at this meeting and here were younger than me women. But they were all like rising in their careers. They were all reporting on City Hall, reporting at police, blotters. They were moving up in their careers. There were lawyers moving up. And I don't want to drop names, so I'm not going to right now, maybe later. We have some outstanding journalists, political women, outstanding women over the last 25 years who are doing incredible things, including we founded a scholarship at Lehman for journalism students, for mostly minority students at Lehman. So we've done incredible things to help one another, not only career-wise, but I'm getting a divorce, a good lawyer. I'm getting a divorce, I'm sobbing. I need to sob with you. This network has grounded us through horrible career and family moments, the death of parents. And we didn't know when we started out that we would become family and that we would hire each other. We've hired each other to work in very nice positions. That's how the old boy white network did it.
Facts. That's how they do it.
Networking is definitely very important. Very, very important. You get to meet so many people and learn from so many different people. You know, I've tried to host networking events whenever I can, whenever the business permits it, where I haven't even charged, just because some people just need the help, and I know that we're going to have a good outcome, and they're going to meet each other and help each other, and people come out of here even with new jobs, just new ideas for whatever it is that they're working on. So I think it's very important, and then us as women, of course, and Elodie helped me so much when I was starting. So that's kind of what comes out of it. And so I can help her now. You know, we can reach out to other women, other men and women, that we can just help each other and help each other grow. Help each other grow as a community, as women. Networking, just try to do it as much as you can, and just put yourself out there.
Thank you. I think I can show you a perfect domino effect of how amazing networking is. I met Claudia, hiding back there. I met Claudia a couple of months ago. She approached me to do an event at my venue, which is I'm partnered up with other people. He's actually sitting back there as well, hiding. So she approached me to do this social club event. I had no idea what was it. You know what? I like this girl. She sounds like she is not crazy. So I'm gonna go and open the doors for her to do this event. She brought in this amazing event, which is she's actually one of the founders of the Mami Chula Social Club. So from there, it was. She said it was gonna stay within capacity. 74 women. I think 100 showed up.
Wow.
And it was a sight to see. Like, definitely, if you have the social media, definitely look into Mami Chula Social Club. It's all women, and it's all types of women. So from there, of course, she introduced me to Camila. And then from here, I actually pulled. And then from after talking to Camila, I pulled Jack,
So
the
you see
hideout
how
to the
that
side.
works.
So network right there.
Yeah. This girl. Yeah.
And also, my cousin's recording me right here. She actually also pushed me to become vegan. I'm not sure who is here as vegetarian or vegan, but that's also networking. Because she introduced me to a vegan community within females and so many amazing women also. Just because I do have a venue, I think it opens the door to meet so many amazing people, and also to kind of host a space for the community. So I think our venues, we like to call it the community hub. So where people feel comfortable to come in, and you have an idea, let's see if we can execute it. And if it's a female powered event, let's just push a little harder just because it's all women. So yes, I think networking is one of the main important things right now to keep pushing each other forward.
I'd like to add,
Please do.
our network is called LIPS, Latinas in Power.
Nice. Love it.
Sort of. And we've decided about a year or two ago that it's time to tell our story. So we've been writing our essays individually for a possible anthology. Watch for the book coming into a theater near you after a couple of
Names?
women.
Yeah.
Well, today, one of the women is in the news.
Rosana Rosado is in the news. She was awarded
A scholarship.
the scholarship for study of policy
In
in Albany. Well, she's the Secretary of State of the New York under Cuomo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Other stuff.
The power of networking. Rosana was my professor at John Jay.
Of course.
Wow.
And she hired me when she became Secretary of State and introduced me to the Lips.
Yes.
And then Lips
I knew your face
inspired
was
the
familiar.
idea for Mommy to
Wow. Full circle. That's crazy.
Power. I mean, talk about power.
Wow.
How beautiful.
That is.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Wow, right? Goosebumps.
Maria Hinojosa,
Get you in there.
who
Yeah.
She's a
And-
TV and radio
TV
journalist.
and radio.
NPR, yeah.
NPR.
NPR. And, I could go on and on, but, Sonia Sotomayor is someone we've come to know a couple of times.
Wow.
Some of us are very personally close to her. Not me. But I have met her several times, bought the book right there, and I love her. So, yeah, those
Kind of women helped me along the way.
So, I'm gonna share. I'm actually a very introverted person. I really am. This is hard. My job makes me be extroverted more. So, like, for our students, I know that we have a lot of students that are introverted or that are just confused on how to start. Like, how do you begin to network? How do you begin to put yourself out there? How do you find a mentor that will take you under their wing and see something special in you, especially if you're not gonna necessarily have it in you yet to advocate for yourself?
you join an organization that you want to align with. I joined the National Association of Hispanic Journalists on recommendation of a co-worker at the Wall Street Journal who was also a minority woman. She was a member of the Asian American Journalists Association. She says, you gotta join because you're gonna get insight into opportunities and all kinds of things. And once I joined and went to a couple of those meetings, then you gotta make an effort. You're not gonna stay home and expect to meet anyone.
Exactly.
So I went to a couple of those meetings and I met Evelyn, who had been a president of the National Association of Hispanic Journalists. So that's what
I like to consider myself an introverted extrovert. I feel sometimes I feel forced to put myself out there, but because I'm in a role of leadership, I do have staff that always come to me when they have any questions, or even customers that will approach you, or to set up an event, people come to you for answers. And I have found myself plenty of times, I don't know what to do, but let's figure it out together. So as far as an organization, that is actually a great idea. For me, I really felt like I had to push myself to just get out there and get to know people and attend networking events and just introduce myself. And this is what I do, this is what I've been doing for X amount of years. Use me, how can I use you? Let's create a win-win situation.
Yes.
That is exactly it. I'm very, very shy. And it was really bad while I was in school. I was very, very shy. But with time I've learned that yes, you have to put yourself out there, go introduce yourself, hi, I'm so and so, join an organization. And that's really how it works. There's really no going around it. I prefer to be more back of the house operations, take care of issues, but when it comes to being in large groups or, just socializing, I have a little bit of an issue with that. Still working on it, but definitely gotten a lot better, and I saw the difference. It definitely works. Just put yourself out there, whatever it is that you feel is your niche, your thing, that's what you want to go for, to make sure you look up to someone who you think might work for you and just reach out. Hi, I'm so-and-so, this is what I do, or I love what you're doing, and just take it from there.
Could I add to that as well?
Yeah.
I would also say make sure that these groups, these people that you are positive,
Right.
positive influence. I would say also that make sure that these groups, these organizations, these people are positive influence in your life, because positive attract positive, and then you meet more positive, and then from there on you find suddenly that yes. So I would say positive people, positive
Yes.
organization. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
So, how do you take care of yourself? Like, how do you self-care? How do you take care of yourself physically, emotionally, spiritually, when there's so many other demands on your time?
Another
I'll
business.
take this one first.
Okay.
I try to work out. I try to get up. It's hard. It's hard.
It's challenging.
Yes, it's extremely challenging. I actually also, within the hospitality industry, I actually also worked at a gym for 2 years. I started at the front desk, and I ended up as a personal training assistant manager. And that's actually where I met Guillermo 10 years ago. So yes, working at a gym industry, it's easier because you're there all the time. But working where there's so much food and wine and amazing pizza and coffee, it's hard. But definitely, your body is a temple, and it's only borrowed. So you have to maintain healthy, eat healthy, and always do research as far as like what you're putting in your body. If you don't have the time to kind of squeeze in, there's always home workouts. But with the restaurant, because it's open early and also closed at night, sometimes I have 16 to 18 hour work days, and it's always good to take time for yourself. I should take what I preach to myself, but it's definitely a challenge. But always try also partner workouts too. Work out, push each other, networking with other females. So.
It's very hard. I have 2 boys, 15 and 3. Oh, yeah. So, and Papa for my other baby. That's another baby. So it's one of those things where I just have to put my foot down on myself. Just wake up one day and I'm just like tired. You're exhausted. You're tired. Take a mental health day. That's kind of how it happens for me a lot of times. I'm up early. Kids are going to school. Then I have to, do things for Poppy, for run errands or shopping or blah blah blah. Then hey, the restaurant's open, so I have to be here and manage and all that other stuff. So it's like, where do I fit the gym in, or let me go and I don't know, treat myself, or just sit down at another restaurant and just take a couple of minutes. It's not impossible, of course, but it's really just a matter of you saying, you know what, you need to stop. You need to take care of yourself. Do what you have to do for you, because if there is no you, there is no anything else. So that's what I do whenever I can. Just, okay, stop it. Take a few days. Kids, you're going to grandma's house. And just, relax. Gym and that sort of stuff, on and off, just because my schedule is different every day, every week. But yes, I do try to take that time and take a few days and take care of myself, and then I can go ahead and tackle the world.
I'm embarrassed to say my gym record. I've been a member of the YMCA for almost 20 years, and it's about 15 blocks away from my house. So sometimes I go, when I do go, it could be 6 months later before I go again.
Or I'll go 2 times a week, 3 times a week for 2 months, and then a year goes by. But I'm not gonna drop the membership.
Exactly.
They're gonna poke it up.
Yeah.
I think I pay $34 a month now, and everybody else paying $90. Because I was there day one. Legacy or whatever. So I can't drop it. It's like you don't leave a rent control apart.
No,
I
exactly.
don't.
Yeah. So that's your incentive to like
Right.
always keep it.
So it's an incentive. I have it. I keep it. Thank God I can afford that. But I love to swim. I love to bike ride, and that's why I have that membership. They have a pool. And I love salsa dance. Oh my God. We have that. The Latinas, we have that, right? Yeah. Right. We can't go too often. Our lives are too busy. The dancing starts in clubs like every midnight. Who's gonna go? You know. But every chance, while I'm cooking, the salsa's playing, and I'm dancing with the wooden spoon.
Hey.
And Evelyn's been dancing a lot lately. So I'm very proud of her that she's doing a lot of dance classes. And it's something I should be doing. So, you know, things like that. But you were saying you try and keep a balance over the years. Yes, there are going to be very stressful years as you build your education, as you build your career, as you build your family. And that's what you're doing. You're building something. And it's a lot of work. But balance, that's how everything in the world, you know, that's how the universe stays in place. Shifts a little here and there, but you aim for balance, you aim for a measure of serenity in your life. If you need to quiet down, you find that one day. Is it the Jewish culture, you know, they close down on Saturday. They don't pick up the phone, and that's wonderful. That's a really wonderful idea that we all should kind of remember. Not every culture is, especially New York, 24/7. We think that's cool, but it's burning us out too. So that's all I got.
So I want you guys to think back to your 15, 16, 17-year-old self.
Oh, Jesus.
What advice would you give that girl?
A long time. I'm 32. Gonna be 33 this year. Think about that. So going back to, I guess, 16, 17, I look back to that moment where I sat down with my mom and I told her, Mommy, I'm sorry I can't give you a college degree, like I can't. So going back, I think the advice I would give myself, you did good. You did good. As far as school, it would have been nice, but because of what I wanted and what I envisioned for myself, I think I made the right choice. Going back, I would have changed a couple of things, but I don't regret anything because that's why I'm here today. And with success comes a lot of speed, you know, a lot of bumps on the road. So you have to kind of be grateful for that and say thank you. So I definitely, as far as changing anything, I don't think I will change anything. Just because I learned from it, I didn't take it as a loss. I took it as a lesson. I think that's it.
I think I would just tell myself to continue to educate myself, and that's pretty much it. Because all those bumps and all those things that I went through made me who I am today. So I wouldn't change any of that. I would just tell myself to continue to educate myself, just because things change so much. So don't just stop. Don't think that because, oh, you know, I got a degree or I did this, that's it. No. You have to continue to educate yourself and just kind of, you know a little bit of everything, because times change. But changing anything, in my life, good or bad, I wouldn't change anything. You know, that's why I'm here. I'm pretty content. My life's not perfect, but I think I'm where I was supposed to be. So.
I said it before, I think I'm gonna stick with that. I would have told myself to trust what I love about myself, which I sort of didn't. So let that be a lesson. If I had only known how beautiful and smart and how much potential I had, if I had only known, and I didn't. I wasn't sure, but I was in another era. It was a very different era when I was 15. Things were much more limited for a woman, much more limited. And I kind of bowed to that limitation. So I'm very happy for the younger ones who really, the blinders should be off, okay? Believe in yourself. Believe yourself when you think you're smart.
Yes.
Believe yourself when you look in the mirror and say, I look pretty good today.
Yeah.
Believe it. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
So I'd like to give anybody in the audience that's been listening any question, an opportunity to ask any questions.
I just wanted to add something. When you said one of the reasons why women don't network often and why women don't feel like they're worthy of being in the entrepreneur leadership role in their lives, I feel like a big part of that is representation from when we're little. I saw a little meme on Instagram where they said a mother and a daughter did an experiment in a library. I don't know if y'all seen it. They did an experiment in a library. They took a bookshelf, a full bookshelf of kids' books for her age. Yes. And then by the end of it, when they were taking out the ones where boys don't speak, it was like 2 books. Then the ones where boys aren't in it, there's like 3 books. And then when they were taking out the ones where girls aren't damsel in distresses, it only left maybe 10 books in a whole full bookshelf. So I feel like that says a lot as to how we are raising our girls. We're not giving them aspirations from when they're little like we do boys. Boys are always the leaders, they're always the strong ones, they're always the heroes. We need to start writing books. I feel like we need more books for little girls that teach them, hey, you're in a sisterhood. You need to help bring all your sisters up. You're a team. You're gonna accomplish really great goals. You don't need a man for anything. So, and not that obviously we love partnerships, but at the end of the day, we need better representation as far as female leaders from when we're small, so we can start cultivating a generation of girls that won't even, like, this is gonna be archaic for them to even think, what, I can't be president, I can't do this. So I feel like that's where it really starts from when they're little.
Yeah.
Questions that our guests can answer?
Yeah. I would like each of you to speak to, you can sort of rephrase this question however you want, but the tendency to want to pit women against each other, and how you handle that, and how you, if you've experienced that, and how you fought back or how you dealt with it.
That's a good one. Okay. She did.
Yeah, it happens all the time. I think it's true of men too, though, Emily, where it's human nature to be jealous. It's human nature to want to
One up the next person.
one up. That's what I'm looking for. To one up in every sense. It's human nature. But women, of course, are going to be categorized as catty. Women are going to be categorized as the ones who do this more than anyone else. And the other genders. So, I guess how I have dealt with it, eventually, when I finally came to terms with networking and sisterhood, is to share it and get advice. But before that, I would rage for a while. I would rage against my own, good. I might block myself from that person. I might avoid going somewhere important because that person's going to be there, to my own, detriment. But if I were to talk it over, I'll never forget it. It was not a woman, but it was a messy affair. And I had to go to a conference and confront and see this fella that I didn't want to see ever again. And a friend, not a member of the Lips group, but back then another friend, I told her, I said, oh my God, I'm going to this wonderful event, and he's gonna be there, and I don't know, I think I'll melt down if I see him, and I don't wanna see him. You go to the conference with all your dignity intact. You say hello, and you keep moving. Dignity is the operative word. Self-esteem. We're back to that. And that's what I've learned over the years in terms of, women backstabbing women. It's a human nature, and I'm not considering it a woman thing. But it happens, and your dignity should be able to resolve how you respond. You tell that person, I had an office situation with a woman. She was a superior, not my boss, but somebody else's boss. She was higher than me. And she was annoying. I like her, but she was annoying. And one day she overheard me with a group, and she butted in. And I said, hey, you don't have to ask. And we were gossiping. And she wanted to know what we were gossiping about. And no, Nancy, stay out of it. Because she wasn't my boss, so I felt comfortable doing that. Oh my God, the next day, one of her subordinates came to me and said, Nancy is very hurt, very offended at how you treated her yesterday. I said, I'm offended how she treated me. Well, she wants an apology.
What?
Yeah. She wants an apology from you. And I went home, I searched my soul. I think I did talk to another woman or two. And I realized, and I heard this, would you rather be right or happy? So I went in and apologized the next morning. I was happy the minute I did it. She was, oh, thank you. I don't know, you came off. I said, I know, I came off really harsh. I didn't mean to come off harsh. That's my advice. Apple pie works too. Works well.
I don't know. It seems like we might say that women have a tendency of doing it more. Not really talking to each other, and we automatically assume, oh, she's this way, not really knowing the other person. Me personally, I kind of block all that. If I meet you and, oh, hi, how are you, and da-da-da-da. Now, if you are a little standoffish, then, I know to remove myself, but I kind of just block it, I just go up to people and hi and have a conversation, or if you need any help with anything, or if you need me for anything, I'm here, and that's kind of how I deal with it. I don't like doing the catty thing or back and forth, and like Tanya said, sometimes it's better for you to be happy than right. So if you can fix a situation by just apologizing to someone, then just do it. Unless you strongly, want to stand by that, which I can be that person. But other than that, it's just, just block. I think that's very negative. Just block it and don't even look at that type of, just move on, and that's how I feel about it.
I think I'm gonna agree with everything that Haida said. It's better when you don't put yourself in situations that you don't belong into anyway. So I tend to not entertain. If that person is not there, why talk about that person? Of course it happens because it's still human nature. But as far as you putting in your 2 cents and entertaining and making up stories, I think that's when it starts, the whole verbal rivalry and the cycle of continuing to create stuff about other women instead of empowering one another. And also to add what Ellen was saying, I think I see it just because in our culture. I did see that video and I was like, you know what, that's right. And also coming from another country, Dominican Republic, where she's also in the Cuban, also the same. Coming back to this country for me was not speaking English, not speaking the language. So I did get bullied a lot. So that's also how, to recreate things amongst us women, but it does happen with men as well, which is just block it off. And if you don't have the information, just don't entertain it. And just push one another instead of adding more fuel to the fire.
I think it's a form of kind of educating people. You educate the people around you, your friends, you're not entertaining that type of stuff, so yeah.
But and men also, we don't deal with it. We tend to be more, like you
Let
said,
things go.
We block, like, oh, I don't care what he's saying. Like, you know what? We don't really engage when we meet that other guy because we don't really care. At the end of the day. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's it.
That's fun.
Any last? Yes.
Hi. I guess you guys touched briefly on how you guys deal with taking a break from work and how you self-care. But as far as like women, how we work for ourselves and we have our personal lives and we have so many other things that men don't necessarily have to worry about. How do you deal with the guilt from taking a step back? Or do you guys experience?
You want this job? I usually feel super guilty. I can't be at home. It drives me crazy. So I have to put this down. Or my partner would just say, just give me the phone, and that's kind of how I deal with it. Because if not, I'm constantly looking at emails, texts. I'm on, I have my cameras on here so I can see everything that's going on there. So, it's Jara, you're not going to relax, I'm going to put this down. With the guilt, for me, the guilt is always there. The guilt is always there just because, I want things to run how they're supposed to run. And if you're not there, sometimes, things just happen. So that, dealing with the guilt is a little hard for me. But, it is what it is. There's really nothing I can do about it. It's there. But I still take my time. I still take my time for myself. You have to.
Before I answer, is your name Christina?
Yes.
I spoke to you via text yesterday.
Yes.
I see you Sunday. I just hired her for photography services for a Sunday event.
Hey!
Again, networking.
Yes.
I came across a picture. I'm like, I think that's her. But to answer your question, it's horrible. It's horrible because I go to sleep, I lay in bed, and then it takes me like an hour or two while I still catch up to emails and text messages and everything. And then I'm like, okay, it's about to be 2 o'clock in the morning. I should really get some sleep, but I don't. And then you have to be up again early the next day. So it's like you wait until your body gives up, and then you get sick, and then you realize, like, wait a minute. what am I doing to myself? So the guilt will always be there. As a working woman, as a working individual, period, the guilt will always be there. But it's up to us to really take the time and just say, like, you know what? I have to take this time off for me, because if not, my brain will explode. Literally. So I definitely fight hard. And as far as self-care, a lot of moisturizer.
Shea butter.
Collagen, a lot of collagen.
I get excited when people think, oh my God, you look like a student. I'm like, yes. Definitely moisturizer, work out when you find time. I will not judge you. So. But other than that, just really take and drink a lot of water.
Yeah.
Stay hydrated.
And mind your business. I'm just kidding. Stay hydrated, mind your business.
I don't think I can answer this. Finally. I have nothing left to say. Yeah, really, they said it. The guilt will always be there for me.
So let me tell you something. I'll answer one question. At the end of the day, I just give it up to, I personally give it up to God at the end of the day. And I have to be thankful for every single day of my life. I try to live my life so at the end of the day I can face myself while I'm taking off my makeup in the mirror and know that for good or for bad, I did my best, and I will learn from whatever mistakes I made, and I'll do my best to make it right with whomever it hurt. And with that, it gives me the peace to just close my eyes and go to the next day, you know? And whatever's waiting will be there.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah, just real quick. Just a couple of words.
Please do.
Hey, Mom. Just real quick. I'm an entrepreneur also. I'm actually best friends brothers with Elodie as well. I run four businesses, and I do full-time ministry in a church 4 days to 5 days. I deal with a lot of youth. So just to kind of touch base on two different things. I don't know what's up with this mic. I'd rather not the mic. I'd rather not the mic is good. Just to touch base on what you was asking, preparation is really big. It's huge, but it also comes with a big price, which is communication, which that's what lacks overall. That's where the big debt is within yourself. You have to communicate, one, to others and also to yourself. When you bring out a calendar, if I show you my phone and what my calendar is like, if you notice I have an external charger because I need my phone. I always put myself first in the calendar because that's where it starts. You start with yourself in the morning with the armor on. That you have to remember is confidence and self-esteem. No one can remove that off of you. Once, little by little, the things come off of you, then eventually you start to trickle down and you feel like you're a failure. To come back down to also, as far as you guys are talking about like women clashing. We all clash, period. It's a human thing. In New York City, I mean, obviously you don't want to get blinded by like the traffic lights in total, like in general, because you have a lot of competitors. You have what we call, even as young individuals, haters. In the Bible it says the serpent knew God better than we did, or even his purpose. So now put the haters in the place of the serpent. The haters always see a talent or purpose in you that you don't see in yourself. It's the same thing what Tina was saying. When she was young, if she was embracing, let's say, for example, who she was as a little girl, she'll probably be in a different footstep or maybe in a different place. So just move slowly. When you're in a room of people, full of people, just think about it that each person just plays a role of a piece of grass and you playing the snake. As quick as you move through that grass, it's technically you're moving through a crowd of people and you're missing out on opportunities. Learn to be still sometimes. Learn to just be patient. And that's something that's really big. When you don't have patience, time goes by like this. And then you feel less as a failure. And then you're laying in bed just asking yourself, what did I do today? Just miss out on what anyone else has to say about you. I mean, I gave you a little bit of my resume. I haven't got a haircut in 3 months and I feel fantastic.
Hey.
I feel fantastic. I look like a updated hobo right now and I feel great. But you gotta remember that it's not about only this, what's out here. It's about what comes in here, what you think here, and what delivers from here. So even like you guys that are listening now, like I grew up in Washington Heights in the hood. And I don't come from parents with money. So originally what I did was just really bust my behind to work and be the best son that I could be. So just, again, the networking part of it, which is here, which I'm a big fan of Claudia's life and her craft. Obviously, I got into business with my best friend, my sister. I love that girl to death, and the same thing for everyone else that's here. I maneuver the same way. Just be patient, be still, and surround yourself by the right people. You could be picky, and it's okay to outgrow friends and family, but it's not okay to forget them. So you always got to come back from where you came from. So that's all I got to say.
Well done, Anthony.
Humility.
Right now,
Yeah.
we're just
And
getting into
impatient
new
makes you
classes. So
tired.
thank you so much, ladies. I appreciate it so much.
Yes, can we get a photo?
Thank you.
The circles are making it.
1, 2. Perfect.
Thank you. I gotta say.
Oh, thank you.